What's good? What's good? What's good? NBA YouTube. It's your man, 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops, coming to you with another episode of NBA basketball talk. And today, your man, is feeling so good. Yo, like, when you anticipate something happening and you know it's gonna happen, and then it happens right before your eyes, it's something special to behold. And these Atlanta Hawks are special. And I've been telling y'all since the summer. I've been telling y'all, like, I've been talking about the Atlanta Hawks since last year when they went on that run. But I want y'all to really realize what you're watching, what you're seeing in front of your very eyes is the emergence of a contender that was there last season in the playoffs. They were 100% legit, but people thought it was a flash in the pan. It's Atlanta. Could Atlanta ever be a real contender? They diminished what they did to the Philadelphia 76ers. They diminished what they did even to the Milwaukee Bucks before Trae Young got hurt. They diminished even what they did to the Knicks. And yet, here you see, day one, game one of the NBA season. What do? They put on a clinic. They put on a clinic. It looks like what you saw in this first game against the Dallas Mavericks was what you might see against, like, if you had a varsity team come in to show JV how it's done. Like, and here's the thing. This is a team they're facing that has an identity. They got Luka Doncic. They brought back almost the same exact team from last year that was in the playoffs 2-3 years in a row. Kristaps Porzingis is finally healthy. They got Tim Hardaway Jr. doing his thing. Jalen Brunson going into a contract year. Willie Cauley-Stein. They got Dorian Finney-Smith. They picked up extra defenders. Reggie Bullock. They got a whole bunch of cats out there. They know their roles. They're bought into it. And there was nothing they could do. There was nothing they can do. Nate McMillan, once again, showing his coaching chops. Yo, there's this aspect that people don't always realize about coaching. But you're only as good as your best players. Too many coaches get evaluated based upon how they perform or their level of success with mediocre teams. And Nate McMillan has never had a star to coach, a superstar to coach. The closest he got was Brandon Roy, but he was injured all those years. He kept getting hurt. Didn't have a chance to really show what he can do. And that was at the beginning of his coaching career. But we saw last year, they brought in Nate McMillan as an assistant, and then the moment they switched over, the moment they made him the head coach, what did? They went on a run. They had the best record in the NBA, flying all the way up until the number 5 seed in the playoffs, where they faced the Knicks and mollywopped them. They waxed them, made it look like they didn't even belong. But this is what I kept telling y'all. That's not a fluke. How do we know it's not a fluke? Because you look at how they won. How they won. They controlled every single game. Having a point guard who can control tempo, pace, and manage the game for you on each and every possession is something that only a few teams can say that they have. The Lakers with LeBron James. Golden State Warriors with a Draymond Green. That's Steph. Steph's not really natural point like that. But you got other teams like as a dominant point guard. Phoenix Suns with Chris Paul. The reason why they can guarantee they're in every single game is because they can manage it in real time. They don't have to always look to the coach to call out the right play, to get the right person involved. And then at the same time, the game manager is also their most clutch player who can create a shot for themselves at any time. This is what the Atlanta Hawks have in Trae Young. And they rode him all the way into an Eastern Conference Finals berth. And in case y'all forgot, before he went down, they had them Bucks on the ropes. Hard on the ropes. They was doing rope-a-dope, but they wasn't winning. It was looking bad. And then Trae Young went down. Then Trae Young went down. But I want to take it a step further. I told y'all the Atlanta Hawks wasn't a fluke because they also did not have their full roster. When they went on that run and had the best record in the league after Nate McMillan took over, they didn't have Cam Reddish. They didn't have DeAndre Hunter. They had just barely started to integrate Bogdanovich, and they had a skeleton crew relying heavily on Kevin Huerter and some kind of no-name backup point guard, Goodwin. I mean, he's pretty decent, but that's not your man in the playoffs. But they still made that run. We saw what DeAndre Hunter did single-handedly against Julius Randle and shutting him down, but he got hurt, so couldn't continue in the playoffs with them. So they didn't have him against Philly. They didn't have him against Milwaukee. Guess who they didn't get until the playoffs? Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish, the 6'9" athletic phenom from high school to college, Duke University, top pick. And all of a sudden, he gets playing time in the playoffs and shows up and has his biggest game in the closeout loss against the Bucks. He's a 6'9", 220+ pound shooting guard, wing shooting guard. Smooth athlete, reminds you of Tracy McGrady. I would call him Paul George, Tracy McGrady type, except he doesn't have the playmaking quite at their level. But his talent is there. And they didn't have him throughout the whole run into the playoffs. Well, what happens when you bring your two best wing defenders onto a team who made that type of a run? The game becomes easy. Let me not forget about my main man, John Collins out of Wake Forest, who finally got paid. He got the bag. Him and Trae Young have this incredible chemistry. And I told y'all, stop thinking they're going to trade him. John Collins is the key to what they do. He's like a Draymond Green, Marcus Smart type. Like he's the heart of what they do. This incredible amount of unselfishness to play within the system, to not just look for his own numbers. He could easily get 20 and 10 any other place. John Collins is a walking 20 and 10 player, and yet he takes a step back to make sure everyone else can shine. Takes on the tough defensive assignments, does the dirty work, the screens, the rebounding, the closeouts, diving on the floor, even assists to Clint Capella so that he can eat. These Atlanta Hawks are 100% for real. And you know how you know? By how easily they executed all of their offense. And how the waves of their defense, from the starters to the bench, forced the Dallas Mavericks to have to go deep in their bag to dig out points throughout the entire game. Something you always want to remember how your team is doing in a game. See how easily they're scoring in the early onset of the game. Are they running offense, hit a backdoor, kick out, screen, come off it, layup, drop off, dunk? Are they getting easy baskets? Or are they having to do a whole lot of dribbling? Is your team having to do all this dribbling and shot creating just to get a shot off? If your team is doing that early in the game, it's not going to be a good game for them. And the Dallas Mavericks did not have a good game. Why? DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, John Collins, Clint Capella, Gorgui Dieng, Solomon Hill, Delon Wright. High-level defenders with a high basketball IQ who were able to play together and lock down Doncic, lock down Tim Hardaway Jr. Facts. Duke 2016 said Hawks are so deep. Crazy deep. Crazy deep. Cam Reddish right now, if they made him available on the market, I guarantee you he could bring you back an all-star. If they wanted to make him available. They won't. They'd be foolish to do that. But if they did, he would bring back an all-star. His talent is undeniable, and yet he still can't even crack the starting lineup. You know why? Because Bogdanovich is legit. I was telling people there's something to look out for when you see European players. You ask yourself, how did they do in the EuroLeague? If they dominated in the EuroLeague, they can at least be a solid starter in the NBA. From Luka Doncic, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Nemanja Bjelica with the Golden State Warriors. What do these guys all have in common? They dominated in the EuroLeague before they came to the NBA. And what do they do when they get to the NBA? They come in and they go to work. They do work. Bogdanovic, I'm telling you right now, is going to be Trae Young's best friend. You know why? Because he's got the IQ. He moves so well without the ball. He makes it easy for Trae Young to not just get assists, but the defense can't focus on him. Did you watch Trae Young in this game? He operated in so much space. Transition. Everyone's worried about everyone else. Trae Young, I believe he had 14 assists. 14 assists. Yo, this is a Dallas Mavericks team that has spent the entire offseason picking up defensive-minded players just so that they can surround Luka with defenders so that the offense can finally complement the defense. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter. Trae Young, John Collins, Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, Bogdanovic, Capella, Dieng, they did whatever they wanted. Kevin Huerter, they did absolutely whatever they wanted in this game. Alley-oop? Yeah, sure. Kick out for a three? Of course. Come off a double pin down, Bogdanovic, nothing but net. Trae Young, do I want to assist? I think I'll pull up for three in transition. It was nothing. You know why? Because Nate McMillan, who's about to get probably his second Coach of the Year, I believe he already has a Coach of the Year award. But if he doesn't, he's on his way. This team has continuity. They've got confidence. They've got a superstar. Everyone's bought in. They've got the coaching. They've got the depth. I wouldn't be shocked if they're a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference if they stay healthy, knock on wood. Right? Knock on wood. I'm telling you right now, if you sleeping on these Hawks, hey, it's cool. The NBA's been sleeping on them. But just ask the Bucks how scary they were until Trae Young twisted his ankle. Oh, it was real scary. It was real scary. And your favorite team? Oh yeah, Jason Kidd's offense looked awful. Look, I'm gonna be real with you. If you're a playoff team, you have no business bringing a rookie coach or a coach who has not had playoff success before. You have no business doing that. That's why Portland, I'm gonna do a video on this in a little bit. Portland Trailblazers, yo, Damon's as good as gone. He's as good as gone. As good as gone. Everyone's watching Philadelphia. I'm not watching Philadelphia. I'm watching Portland. Let them get off to a slow start. First 25 games, not be in the playoffs. Losing to teams like Sacramento. At home, in your opening game. That's how you start your season? It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Ben Simmons will be in Portland probably before the trade deadline. Yeah, says swear they hired him because he won a championship in Dallas. Look, I'm gonna be real. They hired him because they hope that he can get through to Luka. Luka wanted him. But here's the thing. If you're really about championships, you don't consult somebody who's never won a championship. You're not worried about if Luka wants this guy or not. Luka's under contract. Luka hasn't gotten out the first round of the playoffs. What does Luka know about what the NBA is and what it means to win? I'm not looking for his opinion. I'm not asking his opinion at all. You know who both of those teams, Portland and Dallas, should have gone after? Steve Clifford, the coach that got a mediocre team into the playoffs year after year after year as an 8th seed and always found a way to steal a game from a top-seeded team in the playoffs. That's who they should have brought in, who has a proven track record. Yeah, young guys need a veteran coach, a la McMillan. Yo, you saw what he did. You saw what he did last year. You saw it. So this is what I'm telling y'all. The Atlanta Hawks expect more of this. Expect a lot more of this. A lot. A lot. They didn't even have Danilo Gallinari. He wasn't even there. They had Solomon Hill taking pull-ups. They still waxed the Mavericks. So when you watch this season, I'm telling y'all, put your money on the Hawks. Put your money on the Hawks. If they're healthy, don't ever bet against the Hawks. Don't ever bet against Trae Young. He'll control every game. Yeah, Pierce. Yeah, Lloyd Pierce. I'm sorry, man. They gave you a shot. You did your best. Um, but Trae Young was like, I'm ready to win. And they brought in Nate McMillan. It is what it is. But with that, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna do more Hawks content because Hawks have been a favorite team of mine for the past couple seasons. I've been a big Trae Young guy, big John Collins fan. Um, I love the moves that they've been making. I think Trae Young and Bogdanovich are about to become another Splash Brothers, but a little bit better though. A little bit better. And it's hard to say better than the Splash Brothers who got 3 championships, but it's to say their playmaking ability, what they can both do off the bounce or the catch, off the ball, on the ball, it's real unique. I mean, that's some like Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum type stuff. And I think they're gonna run through this league. They're gonna be hard to stop. So look out for the Hawks. I might have to bump them up to a top 3 seed outlook. But with that, I'm out. Peace. Holla at you.